Hello there and welcome to the Bearded Peacock. It's my channel where we talk all things Leeds United. I'm of course George. Welcome along to the channel everybody, and welcome back. It's about a week since I've done a video and haven't been so well. That's why I haven't been on, and also I haven't actually seen the last couple of games. Leeds United only making me feel worse, so I've decided to sort of just stay away and not watch the games really. It was written on the wall for me that we were going to lose these matches, although I was trying to be optimistic and go back a couple of weeks to the Palace game. I was quite optimistic that Leeds United were in a decent position going into these few games. Obviously we got 0 points like a lot of fans probably predicted we would. We did end up with 0 from City at home, Arsenal away and Chelsea at home. We ended with 0 points, and look, these three teams are top 4 teams out the 3 of the top 4 teams right now in England. It's very difficult to get anything from those teams, and I've seen a lot of negative emotions towards the manager. I don't really understand this. We were playing 3 of the top 4 teams. We're down in the relegation zone now. Obviously, since I've come on, we slipped into it on Sunday against Arsenal when we lost at the Emirates, and Everton beat Leicester at the King Power. So we've now slipped into the relegation zone. We're playing teams, elite teams. I know Chelsea. A lot of people pinpointed the Chelsea game as an opportunity, perhaps, to get something. Though they were off form, but hey, look, if you want to get back into form, come and play Leeds United, because we'll give out goals like it's going out of fashion. And we've conceded 3 or more goals in 13 Premier League games this season. It's an absolute disgraceful stat, that is. And how on earth are you supposed to stay in the Premier League when you've got stats like that, when you're conceding 77 goals in a season and counting? We don't deserve to be in this league. We're not good enough at this point to be in this league. So, relegators now if you want, because it's not looking good for these last couple of games, albeit they are against easier opposition, if you like. But a lot of fans are fearing the worst, obviously, because both Brighton and Brentford are a little bit bogey teams for us, aren't they? Both of them are. So it's going to be incredibly difficult and very nerve-wracking right to the end of the season. Well, we hope in a sense it does go to that stage, because we need it to really now. But having said that, all the doom and gloom is going around Leeds at the moment. All the fans very obviously frustrated, and a lot of people have written us into the Championship already. I must admit, I'm penciling it in. But at the moment, there is still hope. There's still hope. Just our goal difference is atrocious. So we've got to rely, obviously, on Burnley losing one or both of them, off all 3 of their remaining games. They could do. They've got Spurs, Villa and Newcastle. They could lose all 3 of them. Likewise, we could, and we could go down. So we're in the worst position at the moment, in 18th place. Like I said, the goal difference is basically another point. But having said that, we beat Brighton on Sunday. We'll already know Burnley's result by the time we kick off. So if they lose, we win. Wow, it's all on that game against Villa for them, and then the last game they play Newcastle. We're at Brentford. So look, it's not done yet. Although a lot of people have said it is. I can understand the frustration, particularly if you went to the game against Chelsea where the players just down tools, and that's what I want to know in the comments there. If you went, the atmosphere again is great with the fans. The fans never let the team down. Never let the team down. The players always let the fans down. And the players let the players let the team down as well. As we've seen in the last couple of games. But when you're playing against teams of quality as Arsenal, as Chelsea, even though they're off form, you cannot give them gifts of goals. You just can't. And we did that. We did that twice in 10 minutes at the Emirates, especially that Meslier one in the opening 5 minutes for Eddie to put us to the sword again. And then he did 5 minutes later, but look at the defence, look how much space he's got to just pick out his pass. You know, he's a Premier League player, he's going to score if you give him that much space. He's going to do it. And he did. You know, and no holding back on the celebration on that one. But look, you know, the players let themselves down the opening 5 minutes. Silly mistake from Elliot. People are blaming Marsh, like, you know, to the hilt. He's out of his depth. The tactics are bad. This, that and the other. They've already turned on him. And he's only been there for a few months now. You know, 10 games he's had. And everybody has turned against him. It was so hard for him to come in, you know, after Bielsa. And look, for me, you know, he got us on our best run of the season, 5 unbeaten. We were doing okay. But I think the form of the teams below us in Everton and Burnley have picked up. And Leeds, the players around the camp, look from the outside looking in like they've panicked and they can't handle the pressure of it, and they just haven't. And also, to be fair to Leeds United as well, they have played up, like I've said, against 3 of the top 4 teams in England at the moment, just as it's coming into crunch time. You know, no disrespect to any other of the teams in this league, but if you were playing the teams in sort of mid-table, 3 and a bounce, you'd be like, yeah, maybe we can pick up points, and maybe we would have picked up points. But because we've played up against the elite teams in this division, we're not really going to get anything, especially the way we're playing, especially the confidence of the boys that are so down on the floor. I mean, look at Calvin Phillips at the end of that game, that interview. His head's on the floor. You know, he can't even barely look up. You know, he's mumbling along. You know, he's not in a good place. He don't want to see Leeds United relegated, even if he's off in the summer, which I don't know whether he will be. Well, nobody does, but I personally think he might stay, even if we go down. But his mannerisms, everything, body language on the floor. You know, people have said they've seen them coming out, you know, in and around Leeds, heads on the floor, heads down, not happy. You know, and they don't look it on the pitch. You know, they're throwing themselves into tackles. We talk about that Luke Ayling tackle. Disgusting, wasn't it? You know, throwing himself on the floor like that. Martinelli was going nowhere. You didn't have to do that. But he just lost his head. And the captain on the day. You know, and I posed a question, you know, on Instagram, you know, will we see Bill Ayling, Luke Ayling in a Leeds United shirt again? It was very split. Let me know in the comments what you think. Obviously, he misses the rest of the season. But it was very split. But it puts us in a bit of a precarious position. Obviously, against Chelsea, we had to play sort of Llorente at right back. Or I think Rafinha occasionally was playing right wing back. You know, Harrison had to play left wing back, even though Firpo was on the bench. You know... And then it comes to Wednesday. Obviously, we lose at the Emirates, dig ourselves a hole valiantly in the second half. Apparently, we fought back, but it wasn't good enough. Obviously, Llorente getting one back, but it wasn't to be. Rodrigo had that chance in the last knock-ins of the game. It wasn't to be. But then you come into Wednesday's game against Chelsea, and within 5 minutes, it's the same thing. You cannot give a player like Mason Mount that kind of time on the area, on the edge of the box. You just can't. He loves it, doesn't he, as well? The Derby connections, obviously Chelsea, historic foe of Leeds United, cupping his ears and all that to the fans, you know, taunting them, and you know, obviously they've enjoyed that one, and he loves a game against Leeds. He loves a goal against us. Didn't he? Scored at Stamford Bridge as well. Got the assist, didn't he, last night? I think for Lukaku, did he as well? So look. Again, like I said, I haven't been well enough. I don't want to watch the games because I know it was going to make me worse. So, you know, just stay away from it and just think, well, I knew we were going to lose, and try and come on here and give thoughts on what I think the current state of players at Leeds. And yeah, look, it's looking increasingly like we're going to get relegated, although there's still hope. We're still level on points with Burnley. I know the goal difference is hugely in their favour now. Ridiculous amount of goals we've given away. Like I said, we might as well just gift wrap them and say, there you go, happy birthday, have 3 points, whatever, have a goal. 13 times in 13 Premier League games this season we've conceded 3 or more goals. It's an absolute disgusting stat, is that? And how on earth do you expect to stay in the Premier League in the top division after conceding 77 goals in one campaign and counting? It's a disgraceful amount of goals to give away. That, like I said, the lads look really short of confidence. Maybe the pressure has got to them. I do believe the Allen Road crowd, as fantastic as it is, the players can't handle the pressure in this battle. Look at last season: empty crowds, empty stadiums. Easy as you like. Talk amongst yourselves, get your tactics right. You can't see the people at home watching. Just play your game, almost like a training session, weren't they really, at times, those games? You can hear each other speaking, talking. There's nobody getting on your back, really. You can kind of manage it. Even if you're one down, whatever, you can manage it. Whereas if there's thousands of fans screaming at you, when it's not going well, or even responding and whipping up the atmosphere, they just seem to have shrunk. And you look at like Dan James last night. I mean, it's eagerness to get the ball. It isn't malicious, really. He wants so badly to get the ball. And I thought, it's maybe not a red card, but looking at it more and more times, and from still photos as well, where his studs are basically planted into the ankle of Kovacic. It's a bad one. But I do believe there was no malice in that. He just was too eager to win the ball back, and he got it wrong. It's not like Aliens one where that was just stupidity. He was generally looking like he wanted to get the ball back. He's a bit like that, isn't he, James? Full of energy and endeavour, but the end product is not really good enough. In the Championship, should we go down there, I do believe he will be one that obviously stays, and I do think he will be probably an asset. And Marsh will be an asset in the Championship. I see a lot of people saying, he's barely a Championship manager. He's out of his depth, he's this, that and the other. Some people ludicrously calling for Sean Dyche to be installed as a manager, which is crazy talk. But some people I've seen calling that in. But yeah, look, Dan James was lunacy, wasn't it, really? Let his team down again. Just don't go in like that. We're one down. Maybe we can nick something, but a man down and a goal down after 20 odd minutes, no chance against a team like Chelsea. And the disappointment goes on. But I just wanted to come on and give my thoughts on it. Bit of a mismatch of whatever, no real structure to this one, but let me know your thoughts. I mean, I will concede that I was quite chipper and quite hopeful after the Palace game. We're 5 points clear at that point. Now it's looking very much like we're down and waiting for the axe to yield and clip us and kill us. But as I said, we win Sunday, Burnley lose, we're back out of the relegation zone. That's all it takes, and the players need to believe it. They just need to get back to the basic, get their heads up, and just say amongst themselves, look, we're good enough, we can beat this Brighton team, we can beat them, and we can, see where it goes from there. But the ultimate thing at the end to end this video is Leeds United just have not been good enough. You can blame it on whoever you want, but at this current time, the players need to stand up and be countered. You can blame the board, the previous manager, the current manager, but at this current time, the players are not standing up to the badge and the club of Leeds United. We need to see better in these last couple of games. Otherwise, all that hard work and effort that we did to get into the Premier League has gone. And God knows how long it will be until we're back into the Premier League. We are obviously, if we do go down in a better position like we were when we last went down from the Premier League, so maybe it might not be too far down the line. If we do get relegated, we come back up, but that's all in the future. We'll know in a couple of weeks our fate, won't we? And we can start to plan from there. But thank you very much for watching, and being patient with me after I've not put anything out for a week. So thanks a lot for that. Marching on together. Let me know your thoughts in the comments there. I'll see you on the next one.